Hello and welcome. We're going to actually build a hat for our snowman. So let's get started by using the cylinder mesh. So we'll get another cylinder. And what we're going to do actually is give him a top hat. So I'll smooth this out. I'll hit the shading smoothed and I will hit S to scale and Z on the Z axis to bring it down a bit, and I'll just hit S to make it a little bit smaller. And we do want it to be on top of his head. We're going to make that adjustment in just a minute, but I'm going to duplicate this cylinder. So I'm going to hit S, the shift key, and then I'm going to hit D, and that gave me a second cylinder after I click. And I'm just going to drag that second cylinder down, so now I have two. If you hit Z on the keyboard, you can actually see the wires frames inside. So I'm going to hit SZ again to scale on the Z axis. I'm going to scale it up because this will be the base of the hat. And I'll hit SZ again until I'm satisfied with that. The hat is a little big. Maybe for our snowman, we'll make some adjustments when we get it on his head. So if you want to group two objects together, there's two ways you can do that. One way is to actually join two meshes together. So if I hit the S key, if I hold the shift key while I'm selecting the first cylinder and hold it again for the second cylinder, I right click, you can hit Control J, and this will actually turn one two shapes into one mesh. So now we have a solid hat. And I'm just going to undo that for a minute and get back to the two different shapes so that you can see the other way to join two objects together is to actually parent one to the other. And what you would do with that is select the base of the hat and then shift select the other object that you want. For example, when you select two things or multiple objects, one object is going to be highlighted in orange and the other will be in yellow. The orange object will be the child and the yellow highlighted object is going to be the parent. So the best way to show you how this works is to actually just parent them together. Control P is the shortcut. So now if I move this part of the hat, the top of the hat, then the base will move with it. But you can still move this individually. So I think I'll leave it like that for now. It basically does the same thing. It's a little different than the join. I guess join makes it into one mesh, but there gives you a little more options for flexibility if you parent them together. So I'm just going to click and drag this hat over and put it on top of his head. And what I want to do is maybe rotate it a bit so that it gives it a little bit of a little style. Now that I look at it, I think that this part of the hat is a little too that brim is a little too thick. So if you want to make it thinner, you could actually hit S and scale on the Z axis and then just adjust it down until you get the right result. Make a few other adjustments. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now we have a hat, and we're going to also give our snowman a smile. So I'm going to select by hitting the right mouse button and select one of these eyes, and we're going to hit Shift D to duplicate, and we're going to bring that down a bit. Just drag downwards. I'm going to hit the S key to scale it, and I'll give him a little bit of a smile. I'm just going to duplicate a few around, so I'm just hitting SD and Shift D rather and moving it outward. And this doesn't have to be, it's actually better if it's a little bit imperfect because I think it looks a little more, it looks a little more realistic, or somehow it's just nicer on the eyes when it doesn't look exactly symmetrical. But that's just my personal artistic opinion. So I'm gonna just move this over just a little bit. And let's see. We'll grab all of the, we're gonna select multiple P's for the smile and kind of drag them over. And it looks like we have a happy snowman. Thank you for watching.